Good afternoon. Mark McManus, General President, United Association, and I have the honor and the pleasure to have a little bit of a conversation with the United States Secretary of Transportation for the Biden administration, the Honorable Pete Buttigieg. Pete, nice to see you.
Same here. Good being with you.
First and foremost question jumps off the table because it's been administration after administration after administration. Both Democrats and Republicans talked about the need for infrastructure. America knows they need infrastructure. It's the quality of life for people besides the job and the economic opportunities for infrastructure. The last president, the last administration said they were going to have it every week, never delivered the goods. And for a little history lesson, they had three branches. They had the Speaker Ryan and Senator McConnell and couldn't get it delivered. Why do you think that this administration could get it, could be precise on how they got it, and also to be able to get it in a bipartisan manner?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we got a president who keeps his promises, and he's very serious about following through on what he says he'll do. I remember all too well what it was like when the previous administration said we were going to get a big infrastructure package. To be honest, I believed them because I was mayor of a city that really wanted that kind of thing to happen, and it just didn't happen. And what we saw happen in our first year, and really took our whole first year as an administration to do this, was just such a groundswell of support, including from unions, trades. UA was certainly a big part of that, saying, hey, America needs this. And we did get a good number of Republicans crossing the aisle, working with Democrats, working with President Biden to get this done. It came to $1.2 trillion because that's what it's going to take just to change the direction of infrastructure in this country. And what's most exciting to us about it is even before you get to finished product, even before you're driving over that new bridge or going through that new tunnel or benefiting from those new pipes that are laid, there's already a benefit in terms of the economic lift that comes from the good paying jobs doing the work to improve it, which is another reason why we all fought so hard to get this done.
Sure. And then the nuts and bolts within it seem to be targeted, in my opinion, exactly in the right directions. It's not only fixing what we've had in this country, it's looking to the future, because America always needs to look to the future. You speak about that. The president speaks about the future. We're not going backwards in this country. Anytime you go backwards, it's a recipe for failure. So not only are we fixing what we have, but we're maybe speak about the things in that infrastructure package that are even going forward looking.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, ironically, the most inspiring thing about America's past is the moments when American leaders and American communities set their sights on the future. That's how we got to be the greatest country on earth, and that's what it's going to take moving forward. You look at the work that's going on across the Department of Energy and the Department of Transportation, too. Our Pipeline Hazardous Material Safety Administration working with DOE on things like hydrogen and CO2 that weren't even in the picture in the Eisenhower years, the last time they were doing big infrastructure push, because we know, that set of newer but very much clear and present technologies, energy sources, that's going to require a lot of work, a lot of infrastructure, a lot of that when it comes to the pipeline side of the house. And if we don't move in that direction, we're going to be left behind. And it is a fiercely competitive time. I can tell you, over in China, they are pushing in all of these. They're doing all of those clean energy strategies for the future on top of what they've been doing this whole time. Not because they're big environmentalists over there, but because they see the economic power in that. We see the economic power in that too, and we want to make sure it's America winning.
Yeah. The extra bonus, in my opinion, on infrastructure as well is the quality of life.
Yeah.
If you're building a new bridge for all the trades, and thank God we got the good labor protections, the best union president we've had since FDR, or maybe ever, and maybe there's not a carpenter on a bridge, or maybe there's not a plumber on the bridge, but the quality of life of that bridge as they're commuting and their families are commuting to a job site, a long, hard job site, and they're driving 45 minutes around this bridge that's been stuck there for half a century or 20 years. It's the quality of life, and the quality of life for their families, trying to get their son or their daughter to a ball game or whatever it is. So that is the extra bonus of infrastructure. The airports, we all travel. America's traveling. It's a wonderful thing. The airports are moving in different ways, but what's more frustrating than getting stuck in an antiquated, airport. And we see the benefits of it already spurring out, through those communities as well, too.
Absolutely. The airports piece is already beginning to bring real benefits. Same thing with just good old-fashioned roads and bridges and making them better.
Yeah.
I know how much so many of your members travel to get to work sites. And, this has a whole new level of meaning to me now that I've become a parent. Our kids are about 2.5 years old now. Every minute counts that you can be with your kids. And I talk to so many workers who get caught up in traffic jams and other issues because we haven't made those investments over the years. You've already got a long way to go to a work site, and then a bridge is out. You got to go around. Sometimes it's a long, long way to the next alternative route. That's actually chipping away, not just at your time and your money as you're sitting there burning gas maybe. It's chipping away your ability to be present as a parent in your family. So this really does go to things that are a lot deeper and I think closer to our heart than just the infrastructure alone. It's what kind of lives we're leading across America.
Yeah, and as a parent of 3 as well, and quite a bit older at this point, in the young 20s, every minute does count with your child, but with a 2.5-year-old stuck in traffic, those minutes are less precious than other minutes. So, we do need to have the quality minutes as well of where we're going. One last thing, maybe, your stellar record as a mayor, and you spoke on it just a little bit. You see all the municipalities, you see all the other layers of government underneath the federal government. What do you think the infrastructure really does? I mean, you said that you believe the previous administration, and I think you broke all America's hearts on that promise more than anybody across bipartisan nature, because infrastructure should be a bipartisan thing. But what do you think the ripple effects, putting your ex-mayor hat on, or the mayors currently today, are thinking about all of this?
I know what it's like to be a mayor knocking on the door of the Department of Transportation that I now lead, trying to get results. And I know that we have a responsibility to make things more user-friendly and straightforward. One area where I actually think a lot of Republicans and Democrats can agree is that sometimes we get in our own way with some of the red tape and some of the process. And it's one thing if you're a big city and you've got an entire federal relations staff on payroll or on retainer. It's another if you're some of the towns we've been working with, especially on the natural gas pipeline grant program we've been running. A lot of those are the kinds of towns where the mayor might also have a day job, and these applications are being put together by community leaders who wear many hats. That's how it is in so many parts of rural America. Yeah. We got to make sure that we are being more responsive to them, and we've simplified and helped with some of these processes, all the way down to just having the paperwork be simpler, making sure that environmental process goes a little more quickly so stuff can actually get done, because these communities can't wait. And one thing about I think every mayor I know is they're impatient. They're impatient on behalf of their community to get stuff done. That's what we're about in this administration, actually getting stuff done.
Yeah. And a great big thank you for the labor provisions, putting a level playing field on people making a decent wage, whether it's safety or the right pay that needs to be done there. And this administration is just fantastic on all the different programs, whether it's even CHIPS rolling out the grant processes that things are going to be done with union labor. It's terrific. But the bonus, and sometimes our members, directly to the UA members, don't understand that we have UA members sitting at the highest level of committees to help the different secretaries in their sectors. So maybe if you'd like to speak on the UA members right at the table with you.
That's right. Part of how we're walking the walk as the most pro-union administration in my lifetime is to make sure that unions are at the table as these decisions are being made. So there are a number of committees and processes, some of which, if they had representation from the sector, it was much more likely to be a CEO than any kind of union leader. But right now we've got UA experts who are in there helping to make sure the policies work. Make sure that they work, period, make sure that they're safe, but also make sure that they work for the workers who are going to have the most at stake in getting them right. And I got to say, whether we're talking about PLAs, whether we're talking about Davis-Bacon, whether we're talking about safety standards, this is not a favor. This is the right thing to do, and it's also the right way to get these projects done. We know that the kind of skills and the kind of safety and the kind of expertise that consulting with unions brings as we're designing these policies and working with unions brings when we're actually getting the projects done, it also means the projects will go better.
Yeah, that just does my heart warm. That statement that you just said is wonderful because you understand it, but the bonus is you actually deliver on that. Lots of politicians can say, and different administrations on both sides of the aisle can speak to the audience that they want an applause line to or do that. But then when you follow up with the exact policies of delivering that, and no administration in my lifetime has delivered on those policies of backing up and explaining why you're doing, because you're getting quality, you're getting on time, you're getting good safety records. We're looking after mental health on the job. Yep. We're diversity. We're diverse in the UA's scope of work that we get to do, Secretary, but we're diverse in our workforce, and that's our biggest blessing. The more we look like the cities we represent, the better it is for middle America going up. And the president speaks about, building it from the middle out, which is just terrific. But I appreciate spending a couple minutes with us and talking to the UA members. If you have a closing word or final word to the members of the UA, we appreciate that.
I mean, appreciate being able to speak with you. And the other thing is I came here with a lot of thank yous. I want to make sure I thank UA leadership and UA membership. First of all, for the work that you all do every day that people count on, whether they realize it or not. As a matter of fact, part of the idea is people don't have to think about their reliance on this infrastructure, but you worry about that so other people don't have to. So thank you for that. Thank you for helping us get this infrastructure bill done, because the voice of the UA really helped make the case. And most of all, thank you in advance, because we're going to be turning to you to train and equip and deploy the skilled, safe workforce that's going to get these jobs done across the country. That's no small task, but I know that America's up to it because I know what your members are made of.
Thanks. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.